Hi, I'm just sipping a Daintree here, which I do quite often, and with a recent Mother's Day I got this flood of people saying to me, what do you do in Australia for Mother's Day? And my answer of course is high tea, and I went out, my kids took my wife and myself out to a high tea in a winery, which is very, very nice. But I get a lot of questions about doing something Australian, and apart from the Daintree tea, what can we do that's Australian? So, as an aside today, I thought I'd show you one of my special recipes that's not just Australian, but South Australian. I'm very proud of the region in which I live. So, we are a country that is made up of migrants over the various periods of history, and one of the big contributors to South Australian society is Italians. So I thought I would make a pizza. Now you might think, how the hell does that work with tea? Well, let me explain. Now you can make this pizza either as a warm pizza or a cold pizza, and I've chosen to go with the cold because it's easier to show you on camera, don't have to be quite so quick. But what I have here is a little pizza base. Now I made up some pizza dough last night and made this spare base. It's flat because I turned it over 3 or 4 times while cooking, so it didn't puff up like a loaf of bread. And the brown traces you can see through it are actually drinking chocolate. I know that sounds a bit odd. There's also a bit of a glaze to it, which is where I sprinkled some sugar on it during the process. So standard pizza dough, bit of drinking chocolate stirred through it, a little bit of sugar on top. Cooked and now cooled. Okay, now if you've not been to South Australia or Australia before, you might not know what these are. These are FruChocs, which are made very close to where I live, and they're basically a little peach and apricot dried fruit dessert covered in chocolate. It is absolutely as good as it sounds. This is what a packet looks like. In fact, this is what half a packet looks like because I did have a crack at them earlier. Now they make a fantastic ingredient for my dessert pizza. Let's put those there for a second. Now pizza should have sauce, and traditionally you use tomato sauce. Tomato sauce is not going to work on this pizza. If you haven't triggered it by now, it is basically a dessert pizza. So what I've got here is my sauce, and this is made up with some mascarpone cheese, with a tiny bit of sugar, some red food colouring, and some vanilla. The red makes it so much more dramatic. I've made it just with plain white, but red is a marvellous concept. So we're just going to get this on here. So we've got our pizza base, we've got our cheese going on now. So very much a standard pizza. Okay, with a few wrinkles. So we've got pizza base, we've got cheese. It's quite stiff. When you make the warm version, you actually cook the cream cheese on the stove top, make it warm and gooey, and I then mix a bit of jelly in with it. Gives it the colour and also sets it. Okay, so there we have our pizza base. Now with the FruChocs, what you need to do is cut them in half. There's a bit of a problem with cutting them in half. Actually, there's 2 problems. One is it's quite difficult if they're a little bit cold out of the fridge, so try to have them at room temperature. And the second thing is I tend to eat them. So that's what they look like, little balls of chocolate covered fruit. In fact, we'll put that one in the centre. And then I've got my little halves that I've cut in here, and I'm just going to arrange them around in a vaguely geometric pattern. There we go. Now what I've also got in here is just some lovely little mint leaves from the garden. I've got some little tiny ones because it's a small pizza. So I'm going to put a few of those on there too. So there we go. It is as simple as that. Now when I serve this to guests, they all think, well, that looks a bit odd. Maybe try it hesitantly, and then it disappears in about 30 seconds. So there it is, the FruChoc pizza, a South Australian classic. I am going to take a photo and show you. There you go. And I'm going to drink my Daintree and try very hard not to scoff this. Cheers.